And that would have to be Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yeah.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
You're breaking character, Celeste, just saying.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
And it was the screaming, encountering was it encountering the suspicious individual? Yeah, and the screaming. They both
The
screamed.
behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Oh.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual.
That is correct.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
She said that she'd seen him.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next,
Celeste just took so much of a lead in trying to keep us away from the truth that it actually made her look suspicious.
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Yeah. Strange costume man, he ran away. La 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 la.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
So Hifumi screamed, and her scream, which was super loud, was able to let Hifumi know that he needed to act. That's why it was so loud.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
I mean, I think we would have anyway, but even so.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
Yep.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on.
A very loud scream.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
What's this? I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered. Huh?
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to assume he'd be murdered at that point.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Yep.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Wait! Then that was...
Oh!
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
Oh, what a call out.
I have no idea what you mean.
And she's still denying it.
Don't bother trying to deny it.
Well, the thing is, she is, so, you know.
You made one fatal mistake.
A mistake.
Oh, did I?
I think she's very interested in seeing this one through to the end.
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
She had a slip-up, and I think I know what it means. Or I do know what it means.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared
And we returned
to the nurse's office.
Oh, they must be really enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around fighting confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die. Just like those guys died. And that's where she went wrong, because she didn't know Taka was dead yet.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Boom.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although
It
I
means she
don't
knew that
really
Taka was
get what
dead,
it
which means she's the
means.
true mastermind.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Haha. It's exactly obvious as to what he's alluding to. She shouldn't have known about Taka's dead body. The handbook, Monokuma file, Celeste's account. Let's get Celeste's account out.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused.
I love how she's just
They
hamming
must
it
be
up.
Positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like
Those guys died. Oh, okay. You mean it was telling me? Okay. Let me take a look at what our account says, because we haven't used it for anything yet, and I am genuinely curious. We got it pretty early on into the group, yeah. Fumi's body disappeared. Apparently they weren't gone for a minute or two.
They must really be enjoying
Us.
the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is all.
And that's all it takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Wait, what?
All I said. They must really be enjoying the sight of us.
Oh, I didn't have to hold down the shift button. I'm a
we are going
dumbass.
to die. And that is all.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Do I need to get that? What's so strange about what she said is...
All I said was. They must really be enjoying the sight of us. They must be.
We are all going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like the
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
You shouldn't have known that those guys were dead, just that one guy was dead.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
We literally said that before we went into that bullet time thing, so...
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys?
Oh.
Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Why are you laughing? You're just going into denial.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You
I
know
will
that?
fucking beat you, bitch.
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told
It's
you
annoying
about the
because Celeste
suspicious
is one of my
person I
favorite
saw.
characters in this game, and yet it's pretty obvious she's the killer.
Then what about the picture I took?
So now it's all about dismantling her claims.
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
Well, this one...
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
actually
so
is.
let's put the suit on, and then.
No.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
But if she was in league with Hifumi,
If everything I told you
then
was
that
a
picture
lie,
could also be a
how
lie.
can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've
And if you're the
offered up.
mastermind, how can we believe what you say?
No, there is no other explanation.
Yes, there is another explanation. It's very simple. Hifumi actually seems to be smiling somewhat in that picture. He seems a bit tired, but it seems more like Justice Robo is leaning on him. It basically have been drinking, are dancing. Hifumi's dragging the suspect away.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Boom. And that reaction, that anime is basically you admitting that you're the guilty one. Okay.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Three, two, one.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther.
Pretty much.
If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
You could be a theoretical bad guy, I wouldn't really complain.
Such a thing is utterly impossible.
Oh.
Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
I mean, there's no way we can prove it.
I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate
Did you just tell Kyoko Waifu to shut her mouth? Let me educate you, bitch, in the words of my fist. Oh, I want to punch her right now. Like, I love Celeste and she's one of my favorite characters in this game, but no, you do not just do that, bitch.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out.
Yeah.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight. You tried to make me look like the bad guy.
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the
blueprints
culprit
force
after all.
them to stand up straight. The blueprints force them to stand up straight, Celeste.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person in there's no
way they could stand up straight like
What?
that.
Shoot!
What?
You dressed me up in that. Then you just draped me.
Wait. Yeah, I'm fairly certain I was right there. Okay, Robo Justice blueprints. Have the arms bend like this. Robo Justice costume.
You tried to make me look like the bad.
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person in
There's no way they could.
That's the one.
No,
I was just hitting it with the wrong bullet. But my theory is correct. You can only stand up straight. No! Turn off the fast forward. Why?
That's how they were able to fake that whole thing.
Oh my god, that just skipped all of that dialogue. Let me just go to the freaking... I'm pretty sure there's like a chat log thing, hopefully, maybe, that we could use. That would be cool. Great. Basically, okay. The basic thing they faked, I will explain it to you since that accidentally skipped past it. But basically, Hifumi and Celeste obviously knocked out Yasuhiro. They put him in the costume. He could only be up straight in that costume, so he couldn't bend or anything. So he had to be carried everywhere by Hifumi, and that's basically how they faked it.
The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Don't say that word, that's her trigger. Oh god, we've got spinny cam.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
She's also lost her beautiful accent.
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Yasuhiro. There is one thing about Hifumi that I remember that was specific only to him. I wonder if you guys can figure it out. It will be revealed in a minute, but it's interesting. Yasuhiro said Yasuhiro, yeah.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro.
In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Shut up.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
Because when Hifumi said some weird things.
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by
That's
that?
a funny statement, Celeste. Just wait.
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of
He
us?
gave us our last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
That means he'd have called Yasuhiro Mr. Hagakure, not Mr. Yasuhiro.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal, but he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Actually, we don't know Celestia Ludenberg's real name.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic
I love how she's just going in and out of her
Yasuhiro
accent.
is a loser's name. Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
She's gone insane.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Fine. Make sure your ear holes
here we
are
go.
wide open and listen up. My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
I think it's time to make her accept it. I'm just gonna chuck that e-handbook right in her fucking face because it
Hifumi
says
was
your
trying
real
to
name.
Tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is Celestia Ludenberg, god damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth.
It isn't.
And since
You have no way to contradict me.
No, that's
Celeste,
wrong.
would you care to tell us your name in your e-handbook, please?
That's it. The handbook.
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
This handbook is vital. And yeah, it displays your name. It displays only your real name.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened?
Just be honest with us.
Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it.
1 second, guys.
Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes.
Let's just get
And
this
that'll
over
bring
with.
everything to an end.
It's time for a closing argument. Alright, I forgot about this actually. Okay, so this... Okay. Okay, 1 second, I just have to... Okay, this is... I think this would go here. This is before they invite Hagakure in. That's when they'd knock Hagakure out. Right, this isn't like the second game where there's a lot of crazy stuff that could go on. This is... Alright, this I don't think has happened. This would be pretending that Hagakure was in the Justice... No, that's the dolly. That's not it. That's the dolly. We've got... I don't know. I'm actually kind of confused. Well, this is when Taka was killed, evidently. So Act 3. Taka comes to the main room while Hifumi is, like, hiding out, like a creep. Oh, this would be the camera. Alright. Next would be... Okay, this. Boom, boom. Sees him, gets ready, goes to attack, attacks, hits him. Excuse that. My cat is just meowing right next to me. Okay, this would be... Okay, he has the blood packets here. Okay, I'm just gonna skip through this bit. I'm not sure. I'm very confused. I don't actually know where most of this is going. And it doesn't help that because I'm not on full screen mode, my mouse is just going out of the game. Okay, let's go to the end. This one would have to have been scrubbing the mallet clean. Okay, that's actual visual picture. Let's see. This would have had to be him pulling the dolly in here. So this is this. The watch would be the one for Taka. I like we've got some Trial 2 stuff here, but I don't think any of this. Justice Hammer 3, Justice Hammer 4. I believe this was Justice Hammer 4. Then here they would have put down Justice Hammer 2. I'd like to say, maybe. I don't know. I don't actually know what goes here. I'm very confused. Oh, this probably goes here. Yeah, that's fair enough, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. This would be... In the library, Hifumi used something to fake the existence of a shadowy criminal. That would be... Justice Hammer 2. Here. Which Justice Hammer was in the nurse's office when Hifumi was pretending to be dead? That was Justice Hammer 3. Okay. We were all shocked here. This one. The weapon the killer used to murder Hifumi, it was the hammer. It was the spotless hammer. It was this one. We can pop that in over there. Alright, I just want to go back to the one that I wasn't sure about, which was... Okay, this one is obviously the picture. What's this one? Who was it that the killer summoned first? Hagakure. So... That's this. What time did the killers call their victim to the rec room? It was at, like, what? Is the watch one the right one, then? I don't... Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, there it is. I didn't see that one. I believe we've got it.
The killer is you! Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit. Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi, to sell us that story. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer 3 and turned the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been bruised. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found. Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office, and once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them. And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is... Celeste. Sorry, you lose.
It's over, Celeste. You were the killer.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no.
You gonna be honest with us now, Celeste?
Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
That's her real name, Taiko Yasuhiro.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
I actually kind of like her voice, her normal voice.
Interesting.
Yep, that's it. We beat her. Damn, that was a mess of a class trial. I died a few times. Oh my god. Overall, I still got an A, which I have no idea how I did, but that's great. I'll take all of it.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no. I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay. If you would, please.
Yep, let's
and
vote.
when the votes
Let's
are tallied,
vote.
will you make
Let's
the right...
vote. We know that it's Celeste. She just admitted it. She's like, I don't really want to go on anymore. Wasn't the best case, honestly, for Celeste. It's a bit weak because you know who the killer is off the bat, because she's literally the only suspicious character in the group. So it's very disappointing, I think.
What?
It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. The black and this time, the Drew killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Celestia Ludenberg, or more precisely, Taiko Yasuhiro!
Honestly.
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with this last plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would happily agree to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her speciality, lying. My speciality? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to get him to agree.
So then...
Then, did you use... you know? I knew you'd figured it out, Kyoko. I'm gonna go back to her accent because I think it's easier. I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You are absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
Indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Does she mean... is she talking about alter ego?
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. I'm totally out of the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
Then you're the one who stole it.
Indeed.
And that is right.
I see.
And you used it to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how I disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually...
I was hoping I could talk to you. Alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
What? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
What?
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
Ooh. Yeah, how did he do it? You are correct. Which is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh.
As for me...
He came to my room last night unannounced, and then, it's hard for me to even say, he abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
Oh.
Say what?
That is a dirty lie, Tycho. It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. Yep, I'm gonna kill him.
Unforgivable.
Oh wow, he swore. He doesn't swear much. This is interesting.
Most unfortunate.
Wait, please, if you go now, you will be playing right into his hands.
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Yep. Taka is going to try and kill you.
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. Yeah.
Completely unforgivable.
Oh.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think I get the gist of how this is going.
I swear, I will save her!
Actually...
Then how would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Oh, nothing. Hifumi agreed without a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
Indeed.
Yeah, it was a real pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But...
So why'd you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it?
Let's see...
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that? Assuming you would actually let him live.
Are you okay with
That's
this?
simple. After he did his part and pretended to be dead, once someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded. He was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And he really believed that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seems very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ate it up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end...
So you had planned to kill him all along? But of course. There would have been no point in my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well...
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
Don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder
No,
about that.
he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things so far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But...
Yeah.
You
Obviously,
little
that
bitch.
was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. And accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me...
And it was all for that dream. What was this dream of yours?
Isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. And once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be done.
unfortunately, my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate. But you were really able to kill your own friends for it.
Oh.
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own needs. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's... we should be saying, and... plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette.
Hey.
You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills,
Y'all done?
chills,
Okay!
kills.
Then let's get rolling! The Blackened disturb the peace and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment.
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What?
This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I'm gonna stay silent while this happens, guys, so you can watch your execution. It's over. The third execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You need to place more value on your lives.
What are you gonna do?
Jeez, and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, with whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided.
Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So anyway, Kyoko, did you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So,
hey!
what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question, if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body? Oh, I hope he didn't do anything too rough.
Oh man, oh jeez.
Exciting.
What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyoko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kind of awkward, I think. It's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya later.
See ya!
Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey, Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but what's that key that Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely, it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers. Huh? Then that means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we'd better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. And that's actually where I'm going to be ending this episode of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, guys, because as you may or may not be aware, end of the class trial, it's almost been 2 hours of non-stop recording for me with breaks. But yeah, if you enjoyed this episode and you enjoyed the class trial, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And in the next episode, we're going to head into Chapter 4. We're going to explore the next floor of the school, and things are going to get very exciting. I will see you guys then.